Hello, once again. Welcome back to the channel. It's Cairo. Hope you're having a great day. It is new Capenna release day, as most of you are aware. But the client is having a hard time connecting to the queue, so ranked play, explorer events are not working. People can't join events. But there is a fellow content creator and streamer. If you have not checked out his channel by the name of Country Fried, he makes YouTube videos. Great guy, great content. And he did a stream earlier where one of his subscribers, by the name of the Country Club, that's the group of his subscribers, said, well, why don't we just do some direct challenges with each other? And they said it was a great success and it was a lot of fun. So here we are. Thank you very much to Country Fried and the Country Club for the awesome idea. So this will also give us a chance to play and see the new decks before, while they're fixing the client and doing their maintenance on it. So we are in here. Let's let people get in here a little bit and let's look at some of the new decks and cards in New Capenna and kind of just see what we think about them, because I know there's spoiler season and a lot of people have seen a lot of the cards, but not everybody has. So let's just kind of like take a gander here while we're looking and waiting for people to filter in here before we get into a match. So let's take a look at all the mythic rares in Streets of New Capenna. What's up, Country Fried, in the chat? Speaking of the devil or the angel. Country Fried said, most definitely always already rendering out a first gameplay footage. So much fun. That is awesome. That's a great idea. And I don't know which one of the Country Club members suggested doing that, but bravo to you if you're watching. It's a great idea. And if you guys haven't checked out Country Fried's channel, it's awesome. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up and a subscribe if you're looking for more cool MTG content. And he streams like every day or two or something, so he's very active in the community. Check him out. All right, here's all the mythic rares in Streets of New Capenna. So if you're just joining, say you want to play a game, we'll do a direct challenge and we'll go. Halo Fountain. Plains and 2 generic for an artifact. This one I saw during spoiler season. It looked pretty cool. There's some shenanigans with this one I think you can really pull off. Plains, and to tap it and you untap a tapped creature you control. Create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature. You can also tap 2 plains and tap it and untap 2 creatures you control. Draw a card. So that's card draw in white, right? Country Fried. Oh, it was John L. 1,000 IQ'd with that idea. Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you, John L. 5 white. Tap it. Untap 15 tap creatures you control. And you win the game. They've been doing a lot of this recently where they've been creating alternate win conditions, especially in the color white. We saw that with the Book of Exalted Deeds. We saw it with Cloudsteel Kieran, where they're doing a lot of this lately. So this will be cool. Do some shenanigans. Elspeth Resplendent, if you weren't aware, the new Planeswalker. 2 plains, 3 generic. Enters with 5 loyalty counters. You can +1 it to choose a target creature and give it +1/+1 counter and a counter from among flying, lifelink, first strike, or vigilance. Very cool. Very potent. Requires you to have a creature on the field. But if you're in white, hopefully you will. -3, look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put a permanent with mana value 3 or less from the battlefield with the shield count. So that looks like you could go grab a Skyclave Apparition, right? Give me a second here, guys. And -7, create 5/3/3 white angel creature tokens with flying. Pretty sweet. Sanctuary Warden, 6 drop, 5/5 flying. Comes in with 2 shield counters on it. And whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you can remove a counter from that creature or planeswalker you control. If you do, draw a card and create a 1/1 green and white citizen token. All-Seeing Arbiter. 6-drop, 5/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you can draw 2 cards, discard a card. So that's what that sort of conniving blue-black component that we're seeing with New Capenna. When you discard a card, target creature an opponent controls gets -X/-0 till your next turn, where X is the number of different mana values among cards in your graveyard. So this mechanic seems like it's a blue-black thing in New Capenna, where it's like the different mana values among cards in your graveyard. I'm not sure how I feel about this mechanic right off the bat. And Connive, I thought was like, I don't know, I thought it was kind of like suspect at first, but I've heard it's good, and I think the more I think about it, I think it's going to be good. But this like mana value in your graveyard thing seems kind of unstable to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Even the score, 3 blue and X. This costs 3 blue less to cast if an opponent has drawn 4 or more cards of this. Draw X cards. Strikes me as a sideboard card against control. Right? So, I mean, you could tap, what, 6 to draw 3 cards with this. 3 of them have to be blue. But if your opponent draws 4 cards, you can just slam and draw X cards for X. That's pretty cool. I don't know where that's really going to fit into standard, but maybe as a sideboard. Body Launderer. 2 black, 2 generic, 3/3 death touch. When another non-token creature you control dies, Body Launderer connives. So that connive is draw a card, discard a card. If you discard a non-land, it gets a +1/+1 counter. When Body Launderer dies, return another target non-rogue creature, equal or lesser power, from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, Body Launderer can come in as a 3/3/4 drop. Then, if you sacrifice other things, it gets bigger. It connives. And when it dies, you can grab a creature out of your graveyard. So this is like a reanimator spell, but on a body. Seems pretty good, actually. In like a, I don't know if it's intended to be blue-black, but like an Rakdos build where you have a lot of sack. Angel of Suffering. Guys, if you want to play a game, say so in the chat. We'll play a game. Angel of Suffering. 2 black, 3 colorless for 5/3 flying. If damage would be dealt to you, prevent that damage and mill twice that many cards. I don't know, that could be useful in something if you want things in your graveyard. Say you're down to 5 life, you drop Angel of Suffering, and then you can just start letting things through and swing back. Let's mill twice that many cards. That could get out of hand pretty quick. If you're getting hit for 10, you're milling 20 every time. Let's see. Arabesque. Heretic Praetor. A lot of people love to hate on this card. So this card was introduced and spoiled, and when people saw it, they're like, card sucks. Card is garbage. I don't know about that. I think it's pretty good in red. Let's look at it. 2 red, 3 colorless for a 4/4 haste. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library, and you may play it that turn. So, exile a card at the beginning of your upkeep. You still get to draw. You can play that one. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, the next time they would draw a card this turn, instead they exile the top card of their library, and they can play it this turn. So before you draw, you exile a card from your library, and you can play it this turn. Then you also get to draw a card and still play that if you need to. And the opponent has to exile a card, and they have to play it or lose it. So I'm thinking this is going to be good against, blue decks that like to hold cards in their hands for a long time, because it automatically just, Arabesque being out makes them unable to just draw cards and hold them. They have to play them the turn that they draw them. And it's a 4/4 haste for 5. So, I don't know, if we're talking about in the last year or so, The 4/4 haste damage has been strong on Goldspan, but that's also flying, and it also has other nasty effects. But if we're talking about questing beast type of thing, if you're really in for getting 4 haste damage to kill the opponent, you could do it. I don't think Arabesque is as bad as people say. I think it can find a place in some ultra aggressive decks. Arcane bombardment, 2 red, 4 colorless. When you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, exile an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard. Then copy each card exiled with Arcane Bombardment. You can cast any number of copies without paying their mana. So it's a 6-drop enchantment. Cast your first one, exile one from your graveyard at random, then copy them. Cast any number. So it would build up over time. Every time you would be exiling one, exiling another one, exiling another one, and to copy these and cast them. But it's 6. Might have a home in like Is It or something, but I don't see that fitting into any aggressive deck. Spell-based deck, maybe. Bootlegger Stash. 1 green, 5 colorless. Lands you control have tap, create a treasure token. People in the Commander community are like super upset about this card, right? Because they're like, that's ridiculous, because Commander games I think are slower. I haven't played Commander a lot, but having all your lands create a treasure token, there is some shenanigans that you can do with this one too. Having it come out on 6, turn 6, is the worst case scenario. If you're in green, there's a possibility that you could have some ramp, so it might be out on turn like 4 something, and then it just allows you to infinitely store mana. Pretty nice. Vivian on the Hunt, the green planeswalker of the series. This is going to end up being just a card review, isn't it, guys, of all the mythics. 2 green and 4 generic. Comes in with 4 loyalty counters. +2, you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature card with mana value equal to 1, plus the sacrificed creature's mana value, and put it on the battlefield to shuffle. That seems like it's going to lend itself to green-black, sort of a Golgari mechanic here. Because you have some sort of creature that cares when it dies, or you get some sort of sacrifice payoff. Then you go and grab a creature from your library equal to 1 plus its mana value, put on the battlefield. Not too bad. For a plus ability, it's +2. +1, mill 5 cards and put any number of creature cards milled this way into your... Okay, and that's still a +1. And then -1 is create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token. So there's no ultimate for Vivian on the Hunt. It's just these incremental effects. I guess you could pay 6 and then you have bare minimum 4 rhinos that you can just make enter the battlefield every turn from then on out. So that's cool. Titan of Industry, 3 green, 4 generic for a cost of 7. For a 7/7 reach trample. When it enters the battlefield, choose 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Target player gains 5 life. Create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token. Again with the Rhino Warrior 4/4s. Or put a shield counter on a creature you can. 7 for 7/7 trample. No haste or anything. It's just a big, beefy boy. So I guess having a Rhino and then putting a shield counter on another creature would be the most likely thing you would do with this. Getting rid of an artifact or enchantment seems, I guess, if it's a nasty enchantment, right? But that's 7 to do it. So if they're dropping a nasty enchantment on 4, 5, or 6, you're already suffering from that. Gaining 5 life, I think, is going to be kind of inconsequential. I wonder if you could Titan of Industry and then have some sort of teleportation circle where you're bringing this out and back in, you know? Making a 4/4 green Rhino every turn, putting a shield counter on another creature every turn. That, I think, is where this really shines. If you can get this out and you can start flickering it in and out. Here's the card that I was excited about. Ever since I first saw it, a lot of people... I posted a TikTok about this card. About somebody... I went to the card store, and I had bought a booster box of new Capenna. And I heard somebody talking about, yeah, the new Capenna cards seem like they're really low in power level. Like, I don't know about that. Don't know about that. Donovan MTG, ranked games work now. Thank you very, very much for popping in and letting me know that. I appreciate it. Then we will be getting into some ranked games. Unfortunately, we did not get to play a game against the community. We did just talking about some cards on this stream. But, yeah, then we'll get into it. Start making some content. Got a new Rakdos deck. So if you want to see this guy actually in action, if the ranked queue is working, Jonathan says, thank you again, then we'll go in and do some of that. We'll cut this stream short, and I should have a video up within the next few hours. Also, 7 p.m. Central tonight, we're going to be doing Sealed, so we can familiarize ourselves with the cards that way. Sealed at 7, that's going to be the next stream. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the very short stream.